Hi guys, Forgotten Wolfram, and this is what if Jon Snow accepted Stannis' offer to rule Winterfell and be named a Stark back in Season 5. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe, and let's begin. If you remember in Season 5, Episode 2, Stannis Baratheon offered to make Jon a Stark and Lord of Winterfell in exchange for joining him since the wildlings won't join him and leave the Night's Watch. In this scenario, Jon accepts this offer and becomes Jon Stark and leaves the Night's Watch. And speaking of the Night's Watch, Alistair Thorne will be named Lord Commander since Jon won't be there. Pretty much instantly, Alistair Thorne will take Tormund's head and execute him. And with no Tormund and Jon, the 2,000 wildlings that they saved at Hardhome will become a member of the White Walker's army and be dead. Moving back to Stannis, with Jon Stark now, the Northern Lords, with the exception of Karstarks, who Robb Stark executed, will all join Stannis. With the support of the Northern Lords, Stannis and Jon will take Winterfell, and Ramsay will be dead in battle, and Roose Bolton will be executed by Jon or Stannis, one of the two. Meanwhile, after the battle, Stannis Baratheon will come into possession of Sansa Stark. Jon and Sansa will be reunited still, but in a different way this time. Sansa will tell Jon and Stannis about Littlefinger, and this will convince Stannis to name Littlefinger a traitor since he plotted with the enemy. I should also mention that Jon accepting Stannis' offer won't change Stannis' mind to burn Shireen, and this won't change Selyse Baratheon killing herself. This ends Season 5 with the Starks back on top of Winterfell, a season earlier. Now on to Season 6 or 303 AC, the Umbers will hand Rickon over to Stannis, Jon, I need to swallow there, and Sansa, and they won't kill Shaggy Dog. As a side note, I do think that Jon would bring Ghost with him, so Ghost and Shaggy Dog will also be reunited. And as for Brienne and Podrick, Brienne will enter the service of Sansa Stark still. Stannis will leave Jon, Sansa, and Rickon in Winterfell, with Jon as Lord of Winterfell, and Stannis will move to take the twins. Moving to Littlefinger, his decision to marry Sansa to Ramsay will turn out to be a complete disaster, as he is left with pretty much nothing now. So I think Littlefinger will side with the Freys at the Battle of the Twins. And in the Battle of the Twins, Stannis' forces will be overwhelmed and defeated thanks to the Freys and the Vale army. And Stannis will fail to take the twins, even though Jaime Lannister's forces aren't there anymore. After this, Littlefinger will take the twins for himself, killing all the Freys and Walder Frey, and presenting Walder Frey's head to the Starks to show his loyalty. Moving back to the Watch, Jon and Stannis will send all surviving Bolton and Karstark men from the Battle of Ice to the Wall, and Alistair Thorne will appreciate the support, but everyone in the North will become seriously aware of the White Walker threat if they weren't already after the massacre at Hardhome. This will cause Jon to, in future, seriously rally the armies of Westeros to defeat the White Walkers. With all the Freys dead, Arya will arrive back in the Seven Kingdoms and find the Freys dead, and she'll make straight to Winterfell with a reunion with Jon, Sansa, Rickon, and stay for the last episode of Season 6. Speaking of the Season 6 finale, after Littlefinger presents Walder Frey's head, there is a bit of a discussion of what to do after Stannis' death. I still think Melisandre and Davos will be alive, and as a side note, Melisandre I don't think will be dismissed by Jon in this scenario, as Davos would have been there for Shireen's death. However, I do still think that at the end of Season 6, Jon Snow will be named King in the North to end Season 6. In Season 7 or 304 AC, Jon Stark will pardon Littlefinger for betraying Stannis, but warns him that any treason will result in his execution and death. Jon will still leave for Dragonstone and with Davos and Melisandre, and he leaves Sansa in charge of Winterfell still in the north while he is away, and he will tell her that to execute Littlefinger the second he commits any treason or plotting. This will allow for Sansa to execute Littlefinger a lot earlier while still maintaining the support of the Vale. This means they are able to skip all the Sansa and Arya drama, and with Littlefinger dead earlier, so hooray! Bran will still come home this season, even though Alistair Thorne doesn't like Jon Snow, and he controls the Wall. And the only other difference I could see for Season 7 is Daenerys having a marriage pact with Jon. In the show, she didn't because, according to her, he is two lesser than me. She said that when talking to Tyrion about Jon. And since Jon is a Stark, I don't think that'd be an issue. And I think that in exchange for bending the knee, Jon and Daenerys will be married right after the White Walkers are defeated. Now, this won't change Icy Viserion appearing, which Viserion will be dead. So that's huge, and the White Walkers will get past the wall. Moving on to the final season, we can immediately see that the North will be more forgiving towards Jon for bending the knee, since overall he will help rule the Seven Kingdoms with Daenerys, as he'll be king, or king consort. Once again, more drama is skipped. Jon being named a Stark fixes a lot of the plot holes, honestly. Overall, the battle against the White Walkers will be a lot harder, since the Wildlings will be a part of the Night King's army, and the living will still win the Battle of Winterfell when Arya kills the Night King. In the Battle of Winterfell, I predict that Alliser Thorne will die instead of Ed, making Ed the new Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. And in Episode 4, right after the battle is won, in the halls of Winterfell, Jon Stark and Daenerys Targaryen are married and carried off to the Lord's chamber to start the bedding ceremony, even though Jon and Daenerys know Jon's secret identity still. And they will still be married because to back out of marrying Jon now will be such an insult to the North, and this will pull out of the North, allying with them completely. And I do still think Daenerys will go mad and burn down King's Landing. As a side note, nothing about Jon being named a Stark will change what happens with the Lannisters in King's Landing. But I don't think that Jon would kill his wife still, since that makes it a lot more dark. We effectively know that Jon didn't kill Ygritte, and in the Wildling culture they were married back in season 3, and Jon didn't kill her. So yeah, this means that Daenerys will rule the Seven Kingdoms, and Tyrion will be executed for releasing Jaime, meaning that the Lannisters are fully gone. Daenerys will need a new hand and someone loyal to her, so maybe Missandei or Grey Worm, but Dragonstone I predict will go to Jon, and the new Lord of Castle Rock might be Brienne, but I'm not too sure. Same with the Reach. I have no idea, as with all the Lannisters dead, Bronn will be Lord of Highgarden, and Castle Rock is still a lot harder to predict. I get the only person that makes sense would be Brienne. Daenerys won't give power to Davos, so I really have no idea at all. That is it for this What If. For summary, Jon and Daenerys will be married, and Daenerys will control and rule the Seven Kingdoms. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share, or subscribe. And if you want more like this, at 750 likes, I'll do a video on how Mercedes formed an F1 empire. And at 75k views, I'll do a video on how the life of Jaime Lannister. But until next time, bye!